Hello everyone, BigDos is here and welcome to another video. In this video we're doing a breakdown look at some Beast Mastery Hunter gameplay on a Plaguefall plus 21 we did earlier as a Beast Mastery Hunter. And we're just gonna talk about some decision making and what you can do to improve in your gameplay and what I can improve. So yeah, we're just gonna talk about that during the run. First off, if you guys like this content, then consider leaving a like, and if you really like this content, then well, consider subscribing. It helps me out a lot. I had a goal of reaching 300 subs, then 350 at the end of the year, going up to 400, and now we're almost at 425. So let's just see if we can reach the 450 mark at the end of the year. Would be amazing, although I think a bit of a stretch, but still would be amazing. But only subscribe if you like the channel and like the content. If not, then well, don't do that. So here I'm just popping all my CDs on this fight. It is better to use CDs on a bigger pack, because what I'm running as a Night Fae, but not with the Night Fae Covenant Legendary. We're running with Rhylac Stalker's Piercing Fangs. So yeah, it's less strong on a single target than when you run with that legendary, of course. This week it's bursting and storming. Storming is not an affix that we have any issue with. Bursting, on the other hand, as you will see now, will bring a tremendous problem, because we're just popping and no one's slowing down DPS. And I'm just gonna turtle here, use a health pot. That is something I would definitely suggest. Not a lot of people, I think, will do that, using health pots, but I think it is a good way to at least get some self-healing in. What I could have done better in this case, because I'm dropping fairly low, I should have used my survival of the fittest. I am running with spirit bats, which is, I think it's from the tenacity school. Not sure, don't pin me on that one, but it gives like a 20% DR, which helps out a lot. During the run you will see a lot of tiny mistakes from the group, which will take time. As you can see here, we are very slow in getting the party members back up, and this will stack up slowly over time. So yeah, that is a bit of an issue. On this guy, Plague Belcher, I'm gonna use my all my cooldowns again. Again, this is not optimal. This is not optimal for DPS, but I don't want to sit on it for too long. And I know the next pull that we're gonna do is another just one of these Plague Belchers. So it's gonna. I have to wait for quite a long time before I can use it again on a big pull. So I'm just gonna use it here. Here, use your binding shot to keep the mobs at bay, and or like your tar trap maybe. And if there's like one single mob, then you can even use like freezing trap maybe, or your intimidation stun from your pet to keep them at bay. In this run, we're not going after this Plague Belcher on a little bit of a lower key setting. You will go for the boss. We are not doing that. We are moving on to like an ad, which will give us haste, and we will get a tremendous amount of haste during the boss fight. But when we get there, you guys will see that. On this mob, keep an eye on the Plague Belcher. As you could see, the monk almost got one shot there. He lost about 80 to 85% of his health just because he got hit by it. We don't want to get hit by it, because we will probably die, so let's not do that. And as you can see, our Wild Spirits is almost off cooldown, only 30 seconds left. And if we waited with using Wild Spirits and we didn't use them on the Plague Belcher, then we had to wait for, well, we haven't used it in like a minute and a half. So that's a lot of downtime on your cooldown. So whatever you do, try and use your cooldowns as much as you can. Here my binding shot was still on cooldown. What is a good idea to do is use your binding shot when these mobs go to low health, because they will run away, as you can see, the rotting slime claws. And yeah, there is a way on like rooting them so they don't pull other packs. Luckily the bear druid did that. Here again a small mistake. Our monk stood on one of those little ads, I think, combined with bursting stacks, so he didn't get healed to full. He stood on one of those mobs and he ticked instantly down, which kills him. And again, slows our run down just by a little bit. Now we're doing these two plague borers. It's a bit of a slow pull. The tank died for some reason, I don't know why. And I decide to pop everything here because again this is not an optimal use of wild spirits, but I think we have the earth golem from the shaman at this point to make sure that he is tanking instead of our tank, and I want this back down. I don't want us to like fully wipe two stupid plague belchers, or that we have to guide them the entire way. And because we are going so slow at this point, I think it's a good time to use our cooldowns here. And we are just gonna slowly wait on our cooldowns and wait for the tank to arrive. The monk will make a smart decision here because we will need this pestilent slime. We don't need the plague binder, we need the pestilent slime. And as you can see in the bottom right corner, our tank is not here yet. The monk decides to tag it and fly away so he doesn't get hit by abilities and the tank can get aggro. And here you want to, well, you want to slowly whittle down the glob, the pestilent slime, but you don't really want to focus it. You want to kill the plague binder and then get the glob towards the boss, because when he dies, your necrolord person can use like a buff, so you get a haste increase, which is nice. But the blood that stays behind, which he leaves behind if you kill him, if you stand in it, you will get increased haste as well, and you will get up to ridiculous numbers if you stack correctly. Here it's important to just make sure that you kick as much of the cost as you can, so he will keep on moving. We just kill this room tender because we accidentally pulled that, and now we're gonna, there we go. We're gonna use everything, and as you can see in the bottom right corner, now I'm gonna pop my wild spirits and my lost. We're up to 190% haste. This blood ticks quite hard on mob week, sadly, so standing in it for long is a little difficult if your healer is not keeping you up properly. But as you can see, we're at 190 haste at the moment, which gives us a tremendous amount of extra focus regen, more chance of getting barb shots up and stuff like that. So it's nice, it's very satisfying. And if your tank does this, then yeah, that's just really nice. As you can see, just standing in the blood, and I'm not doing it now, of course, because I don't want to die, and I see that the healer is struggling to keep us up. So I'm not gonna stand in it, but if I stood in it now, I would be still up to about 94% haste. Now we're at 55% thanks of the necrolord buff that I think the monk gave us. I'm not sure. I think monks are usually necrolord. And now we just continue on. Try to use your barb shot on as much targets as you can, of course, to spread out the bleed and just slowly whittle them down. So guys, if you are still watching this and you like this content, then well, think about leaving a like and or subscribing to the channel. It helps me out a ton. So yeah, that would be great. I throw down a binding shot here so the tank can kite. I saw him go a little lower and I was like, I don't know if he's gonna survive, so he might want to kite here. So yeah, we do that. If the tank then decides not to move and not root the mobs, yeah, well, that is his choice. But yeah. And guys, for in the future, I'm thinking also about picking up more marksmanship hunter content as well. I'm like, when I'm not recording, I'm also playing some marksmanship to learn it. I don't want to show you all that much learning stuff what I'm doing currently, because you will guys just get bored by how bad I'm playing. But if you want to see some Marksman Hunter content, then let me know. This one, our Bestial Wrath, was off on cooldown when we popped everything. It's better to combine, of course, Bestial Wrath and Wild Spirits with your Aspect of the Wild, but I didn't know how long it would take to get it back up, so I just start popping because I want these mobs to die real quick. Again, you can see healer's a bit struggling to keep us up. With 3 bursting stacks, we're still dropping very low, and here we are losing time again because the warrior needs to get rest, and it takes some time, this dungeon, and you will see that this dungeon is quite forgiving for the amount of time that we are losing by these little mistakes. So if you go into a dungeon and like you wipe on the first pool, that doesn't really means that you're not gonna finish the dungeon. Some of these timers are quite forgiving, but don't make too many mistakes, of course. Otherwise, you won't make it. So yeah, slowly finishing this one off. And here I would have liked to see him already being dragged earlier towards those mobs, so we can combine this pool earlier. Like when the purple slime dies, the purple slime of course gives a damage reduction to all the mobs around it, so don't drag that into a big pool. But when the purple slime dies, that other guy could instantly been brought here, or these guys could have been pulled. Although you want to, of course, kill the canister and them like on top of them. But yeah. You can see here, Wild Spirits and Aspect of the Wild are off cooldown again. I'm gonna hold on to them. The next pool is quite dangerous, so I want my cooldowns for that pool. And yeah, so we're holding our cooldowns here. Beast Red is also coming off cooldown quite quickly. And we're diving into the pool, and as you can see, everyone is really low while diving into this pool. So I don't know how much AoE damage there is in this pool, but I think it's quite dangerous. Here I'm of course going to stand in my Field of Blossoms again for some increased haste rating, and we're gonna keep on popping here. You want to kick that gripping cast, because if people get gripped, they can't move out of the spikes that come out of the ground. What I should have done here is use my yeah, guys, what's the word? I can't think of it. Binding shot. I knew it. I should have used my binding shot there when the mob dispersed, so I could root them. But yeah, I did not do that. These little guys, use a defensive if you're gonna soak them, because we will instantly die if we soak them on a fortified 21. We will just flat out die, I think. Some time lost here, just standing around. I don't know why. I think the tank might wanted to give the healer some time to drink, but the healer did not drink, I think, because he's very low on mana. And what then happens, and this is something I feel sad about sometimes, in a sense. What happens is I pop my IQD, and what do? I either heal a party member that's low, or I give the healer some mana. Yeah, great. Although I really wanted that like 20-30% crit rating increase for more damage, but nope. I'm just gonna give the healer some mana, and that's like downside with IQD, especially when people are not getting topped off, or yeah, stuff like that. Another silly mistake. Monk got hit by an ice patch, and he sadly died again. We're gonna take the regenerated fungus because we need all the healing that we can get in this dungeon, as you can see. It's quite difficult. Let's see. I don't think. Yeah, this I always find a bit difficult. And let me know, guys, what you do with your cooldowns in this particular moment, because I have my aspect of the wild and wild spirits up, and I know I need to kill this tentacle and I need to kill the next tentacle. Um, it is quite useless to use like wild spirits on one of these tentacles, I think. So I'm holding them for the next guy, although that is still again just one mob. So again, that's not amazing, especially how it's gonna go shortly, but you guys will see. Um, but yeah, I think this part of the dungeon is always a bit awkward in a sense that I don't really know when to use my cooldowns properly on this one. So yeah. Um, let's see. Yeah, I'm waiting for BCO Rat here to come off cooldown, and then I see the obliterating ooze, and yet still, for some reason, I decide to pop everything, and he gets dragged out of it just by an inch, and the tank is dragging him down, and that's my bad. That's not the tank's fault. I should have known that I couldn't have placed it there. I should have known this. So this is bad usage of my cooldowns, and I think this dungeon really shows that there is a lot to improve. And while I'm watching this, I'm still learning as well, and there's a lot to improve on the cooldown usage here. So yeah, it's might have been better to use it on this pack, although here again we're struggling to keep them nicely grouped. I think that's always nice when you have like a protection paladin tank. They just, especially when they're carry and they just AoE silence everything, or your demon hunter, and everything comes in nice and quickly. So guys, how are your runs going this week? This is my first finished run this week. I have done about 6 or 7, no, I think 6 runs, all where the healer either went AFK, another player went AFK, or someone didn't manage to do their job properly. So my weeks are going pretty shit, although the affixes are easy. How is it with you guys? And now we keep on going. I like this route. I waste time jumping there. Stupid. To go into this guy and then go towards the other 2 platforms again for the haste buff. Here again we are on 1 target and I'm using my wild spirits. This is because I have it off cooldown and I don't want to hold it for too long, so I'm gonna use them here. Nice. Feign that. That's something we can do, of course. When he charges you, you just feign that mid-charge. Don't feign that, and this is important, don't feign that before he charges you. Why is that? Because then he will just simply swap targets, probably catching your melee of surprise. Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. By surprise. Yeah. So probably catching your melee by surprise and then just fucking them over completely. So you don't want to do that. Here we just interrupt so the mob will keep walking. We try and spread out our dots nicely, nice and evenly. Don't get hit by the spikes on the ground, of course, and we pay attention to which side the Blighted Spinebreaker is facing, because we don't want to get hit by his like frontal breath attack, because that one will kill us. So that's something that you can could look out for, and it is very easy. You just stand back a bit. I should be standing a little closer though, because I think I'm making the life of the healer a little difficult because I'm not always standing exactly into his range. So yeah, that is something I could pay attention to more. In this one I was very careful, not getting hit by any frontals. And here we want to, of course, kill the purple one first, because it will give them introduction. And then we will want to, yeah, kill these mobs and get the haste buff. And also, hopefully, get the boss on this platform with the red one. So we will get like a haste buff, and then we can lost on the second platform to optimize our DPS. That is something that you want to do. I'm spreading my dots, and this is a bit awkward because the tank just shouted that we shouldn't kill the red one right now. And it was a bit late that he didn't want us to kill it. And he asked for Bloodlust now. Luckily we're not using Bloodlust right now. And we are using all our cooldowns here, because we are standing in the blood, and as you can see we are at 123% haste. Because we are standing and in our Field of Blossoms, and we are standing in the red goo. What not happened is, as I can look at my haste right now, oh no, there it is, 55%. So our monk did use his, did he use? Yeah, we're at a nice amount of haste now. The monk did use his Covenant ability. We want to kick the Burning Strain. And here, something that went wrong a bit, and I was not paying attention too much. I was still focusing the congealed slime, and in hindsight, I think that the tank really wanted to not kill it and just root it in the back. And here you can see people are saying it, but yeah, it's almost dead right now. So I'm thinking, well, let's just kill it and let's do it on the other platform, and here just let it die. It's fine. But I could have done that differently. And now we're gonna go to the next platform. Here I'm not gonna focus the purple ads, giving the tank the time to root it. We of course are still gonna kill the explosion guy, because, well, we don't want to wipe. Yeah, there we have it. Now we can easily just cleave them down. Here I should not get hit. I do get hit. And on a 21 fortified, so the mob weak, I still get almost one shot, so I should watch out for that more or better. And there we go. I got my cooldowns back up, and again this is quite awkward, because I have my cooldowns back up, and now we get this little awkward two-man pull. And I see some tanks pulling like the mobs on the right side of the screen, and pulling like two mobs from the center of the center platform there. If he had done that, then using Wild Spirits would have made more sense. But now I'm thinking, alright, we're gonna go to the platform next, so I'll just hold on to my cooldowns and use it there. So guys, how do you like it so far? If you have feedback for me, things I do wrong, things I do right, things that you like to see more from me, let me know. Put it in the comments. I really want to improve. I want to become better at this. I really like making these videos. I like making well, all kinds of videos, to be honest, and yeah, hunter related, by the way. And so guys, let me know what you guys think and what you guys want to see, because currently I'm just, you know, making some dungeon videos and increasing my channel by making guides on Beast Mastery Hunter, and I'm learning marksmanship, so I can talk about that with you guys as well if you want to see that. But I want to learn that better. But is there something you guys like to see from me? Specific dungeon maybe, or more marksmanship? Don't ask me for survival yet, because I've never actually touched the spec. I am planning on touching the spec though, but yeah, let me know. It helps me out, and hopefully I can create better content for you guys as well in the process. So yeah. On this guy, when he chains you in, you can disengage. I am very lazy right now. I usually just let me get dragged in, use my barb shot to AoE stomp and kill the chains. But yeah. So here I see he pulled in a Defender of Many Eyes, which does the bulwark. And I know that this can be a problem, especially if we had the shield up, like the Defender of the Bulwark, Defender of Many Eyes does. And then we get dragged in, and we can't kill the chains because the shield is preventing us. Then yeah, that would have been bad. Here, as you can see, our shaman dies because he was standing in the poison. Why? This is the kind of thing that makes you break a key if you make these kinds of mistakes. There's no reason to stand there. There's no reason at all. Again, we have this awkward like 3-person pool. I decide to pop everything again because I have it off cooldown and I want to use that if I have to hold it again, because now I think if I have it for this pool, then the next pool that's coming up I don't have to, or I can't use it, and probably the pool after I can't use it as well, but then I will have it up for the boss, and then we can clear the boss faster. So yeah. But these pools are a bit harder than the boss, of course, so I might have wanted to use it on this one. Instead I decided to use it there, otherwise I will be sitting on it forever. That's not something you really want to do. Enveloping web, don't kick that. For some reason I thought the stealth links were up, and so I decided to throw a flare. It's in a fraction of a second I thought that I saw it happening. I was wrong, but yeah, just to be safe, There we go. Just slowly kill everything off, nice and easy. And we are gonna go into the next pool. A much more messy pool on our end. Luckily the monk is popping off and the warrior's popping off as well. There we stun the bulwark, and like you can see here, the little stealth links are up, but we are not using our ring of peace or any other kind of displacement, and you can see the shaman died and the other two almost died as well, making it very, very difficult. We are still living. I am not using my cooldowns. This is a point where I think I'm still could have used it, although it's a bit iffy because they are fairly low. But this pool was taking way longer than I expected it to be, actually. I think I feigned that here as well to prevent those ads from jumping on me. Oh, I actually did not. I assumed they did not or something. Or would not. And we clear the boss. The healer needs to drink. And he takes some time, just stands there, takes some time before he actually clicks his drink. And that's another 2-3 seconds lost. And this goes over the course of the entire dungeon with all the mistakes that we are making. It's really adding up by this point, making it a very hard dungeon to still time, as we will see. Here we have a brute assassins. You can help out a lot with this, and so you should, especially on boss week where this phase actually hurts a lot. If you let those brute assassins stay in the webs, you don't want that. So to get those ads out, what you want to do is you want to throw your flare, you want to throw your tar trap or your frost trap, and you can get them out easily. And so that is something I try to do. Our monk is flying all over the place, getting them out as well, making this very smooth into releasing those ads. Here I stay close until the debuff almost runs out, and then I walk out. Why? Because you don't want to, of course, stay out for long, because then you get webbed, and that's really annoying, and that's not something that you want to do. And there we go. And this fight is very, very easy, rinse and repeat. Just you want to make sure that you get those ads out quickly. That's the most important thing about this entire fight, to be honest. And especially when those ads spawn, you want to get like the ones out that your tank is not walking towards. And while I say that, I of course focus the one that the tank is actually walking towards, because I'm just that good. So I should not have said that. But yeah, I decided to use all my cooldowns there because I wanted to go a little quicker. Here we lose another bit of time because we suddenly needed some more count, and so we decided to get this one. This one is giving us almost no count because they are half HP, and I don't think then that you will get tremendous amount of count as well. So we are slowly losing some time here as well. I should have placed my binding shot a bit more towards the poison, so the ads would have been grabbed quicker and rooted instead of just getting into the glob and buffing him up. And our tank said, no, we're gonna grab these ones first. This is good because we are on a very tight timer at this point, and so it's good that we are killing these now instead of like waiting, killing the other room first, then coming back to this room, kill these, so we get the haste buff for like a longer period of time, which is of course nice. Don't misunderstand me there, but we don't have the time to do it. So try and focus the purple one first and the red one last if you can, because you wanted that buff for the longest time. But yeah, the monk will need to use his Necrolord ability, and then yeah, now we get the haste increase. What would have been nice is if we already would be moving more towards the next room, and just that he tags them, holds aggro, and then just starts running. Yeah, because we are on a tight timer by this point. I'm gonna use my cooldowns here to blow up this pack, and I will hold on to, or try and hold back a bit at some point, because I want to burst more, but I can't really, because the bursting stacks and we're like not getting topped off properly, so it makes it very hard to like kill everything, and so you sometimes need to hold your steady your hands. And like for example now I really want to kill shot the target, and someone still prolonged the buff and let it rolling. I didn't want to do that, so I didn't use, for example, kill shot or any other ability killing it. Here I'm popping my defensive just a little too early. I'm popping survival of the fittest. I shouldn't have popped it there. Here I'm not using kill shot, and again someone managed to kill it in the last possible second, which is a bit awkward. And now we're gonna go into this fight with only 2 minutes left on our timer, and this boss takes just ages in the phase that she just dives down and stands AFK for a while. But yeah, that is what sometimes happens. Sorry about that, guys. So if you are still watching this, and you're almost watching this until the end, of course, then let me know what you guys think, and subscribe and like the channel if you like it, of course. And I guess if you struggle through with me all the way to the end, then I guess there's something that you like here. Some sort of something. And here we just want to try and kill off the ads. Try and use your barb shot on all the different targets to keep the bleed rolling. And yeah, that is something that we can easily do. We have our Night Fae ability, of course, to get out. This is always I using my Wild Spirits right off the bat because I want to start pumping damage in. But on the other hand, I should have maybe waited until the Malignant spawn because I will know there is the safe area. And so if I had not used it instantly, I could have used it here. And so my Field of Flower, Field of Blossoms, the 15% haste, I would be standing in it now for a little longer, and that would increase my DPS, overall speeding up the dungeon just a bit. Watching this and watching this back, I think a part of the dungeon where I could improve mostly is my Night Fae Covenant ability, to use it properly, because I'm using it on very small pools, so it's not really doing all that much damage, and I think that's something where I can most definitely improve to speed up the dungeon on my end. Of course, there are some things that are beyond me, but if I want to look at this and that is something I think is best to do, is what can I improve, then I think it's my cooldown usage, which was suboptimal, so there I can most definitely improve. And besides that, let me know if you guys find something else that I could have improved, maybe. Because yeah, if there's some things that I could have improved, then let me know. Maybe I'm not seeing it. But yeah, it was a slight increase of rating, but yeah. Here the tank, of course, goes and flames the healer. I don't really want to do that, although I think it's partially his fault. I think there's fault on everyone's front. So yeah, that's that, and we sadly didn't manage to time it, but it was still another run and one of the few runs that I actually was able to time. But guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Good day.